my angels, welcome or welcome back to my channel. So you're either here because you watch all of my videos, or you're here because you feel like you have lost your spark, or you just feel like you've lost yourself in general. I am absolutely no stranger to losing my spark. I participated in a trend going around on TikTok right now where it's like when someone talks about losing their spark and they look at me like I don't know ball, and then you play videos of you like after you got your spark back and it's like I know ball. Doing that trend made me realize how deep of a hole I was in a few years ago and how I just got myself out of it. So I wanted to share my thoughts as well as actual science behind how you lose your spark and how to get it back, because I don't like to make these videos and only use information that I got from myself. I like to back up my information with actual science so that way you know it's true and it can actually help somebody. Because if I just sit here and talk about how I got my spark back, it's like, first of all, no one cares. Second of all, what I did may not work for somebody else. So I want to use actual facts to back up what I'm saying. Before we move on, I would just like to preface that I am not an expert, and if you do need serious help, please seek a professional or call the number on the screen. So let's start with a little bit of science. I know it might be a little boring, but trust me, it's gonna be so helpful. So your spark is actually linked to dopamine, which is your brain's reward and motivation chemical. So obviously when you are not doing things that give your brain dopamine, you're going to lose your spark because your brain is not receiving that happy chemical anymore. Does that make sense a little bit? Let's dive into that, because oftentimes whenever you lose your spark, it's because you feel like you're in a depressive state, or the things that used to make you happy are no longer making you happy. You probably aren't hanging out with people anymore. You've probably lost all of your friends. Trust me, been there, done that. And I don't want to sit here the entire video and be like, go exercise, go outside, go hang out with people. But truly, genuinely, honestly, doing those things is going to bring dopamine to your brain. So whenever you're feeling constantly stressed, unmotivated, you're working too much, you're feeling burnt out, you're scrolling a lot, looking at everybody's lives instead of looking at yours and focusing on you, your dopamine levels are obviously going to drop. Therefore, you're gonna lose your spark. First things first, you need to get out of bed. And I know that sounds very harsh. I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, it's gonna be okay. You're gonna get your spark back eventually. No, because when I lost my spark and I was in my depressive state and nothing could make me happy, I needed somebody to look me straight in my face and be like, get out of bed and go do something. Because truly, that's what got my spark back, is when I finally got up. I started hanging out with friends again. I was getting out of the house. I was going to do things that I used to love doing, even though my brain was like, I don't really like going out anymore. I don't really like hanging out with friends. I don't like going out to eat. I don't like going to festivals or carnivals. Turn that part of your brain off and just go do it. You have to go against what your brain is telling you, because truly losing your spark or even being depressed is you doing it to yourself. And I know I really don't want to get like hate comments for that, but it's so true, and any scientist will tell you that. Anything going on in your brain is happening because of you. So get up, go do the things you used to love doing, even if your brain is telling you not to, even if your brain is telling you you're not gonna enjoy it. Go do those things anyways, because you are losing your power every single time you tell yourself no. Let's dive into that. My one tip that I give literally anybody in my life, no matter the circumstances that they are going through, is stop giving your power away to other people or even yourself, especially when you are in a state of mind where you feel like you've lost yourself. Listening to your brain tell you, oh, well, you're just lazy, you're no good, no one likes you, you have no friends, you're boring to be with, that thing my toxic ex said about me is true, and blah, 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 blah. Once you start listening to yourself like that, you are losing every single ounce of power that you once had. So stop giving away your power. Or if someone is still telling you, oh my gosh, you're lazy, you're boring, you do nothing all day, I don't know how to help you, so on and so on, again, you're losing your power because you're listening to them. You have to stop listening to what other people are saying about you, what people are saying to you, because the only thing that matters is what you think about yourself. And once you flip your brain to think, oh my gosh, I'm so smart, I'm so fun to hang out with, I love going out and doing stuff, I love hanging out with my friends, I also love my alone time, and that's okay. I have learned to make myself happy. I don't need anybody else in my life, because as long as I have me, I'm okay. Once you start thinking like that, you have gained your power back, and now you have all the power. So stop giving your power away to people that no longer matter. Once I learned that really flipped a switch in my brain and was like, oh my gosh, I hold the power. Once I know how to make myself happy, that's when my life is gonna change. change, and that's when I'm gonna get my spark back. You cannot rely on other people to make you happy, point blank period. Secondly, reconnect with people that you were once friends with. This may not be for everybody because I do know, obviously, you lose friends for a reason. However, this past year, I reconnected with one of my friends that I was best friends with throughout middle school and some of high school. And nothing even happened to our friendship. We just went our separate ways, and that was that. But we reconnected, and now she's my best friend all over again, and I love hanging out with her. I always look forward to hanging out with her, and that truly like means something to me and probably her as well. But once you reconnect with people and once you start hanging out with people again, you're going to realize, oh my gosh, what have I been doing this whole time? Like, I just got my spark back recently, like within the past year. So I am still very new to this, and it took me years to get out of that. I think I lost my spark in like 2022 all the way up until like 2025. So yeah, still very new to this whole thing. So like the things that I'm saying, I truly mean, because these things happened so recently that I'm like, wow, my eyes are now open to seeing what I had to do in order to get my spark back, which is what kind of made me want to make this video in the first place. But reconnect with people. Seriously, go hang out with people. Even if your brain is telling you, I don't really want to hang out with people, I don't really like hanging out with friends, go. Get yourself up and go hang out with people. I don't care if you're an introvert, go hang out with people. Because once you're with people, you're like, wow, I'm having the time of my life and I love hanging out with people. At least that's how it was for me. Even if you have social anxiety, go hang out with people. Go out. Because again, social anxiety is all in your head. You are making it up all in your head. You're telling yourself things like, oh, people are gonna make fun of me. Oh, people are gonna think I'm weird. People are gonna judge me. No one cares. Truly, no one cares. And if people are judging you and making fun of you, so freaking what? It does not matter because their opinions will never matter. And if they're making fun of you and judging you, you don't want to be their friend anyways. But with all of that being said, start out small. Don't just go to the club. That may not solve anything. I'm saying, like, go have coffee with a friend. Go have dinner with a friend. Go to the mall with a friend. Go have a picnic with a friend. Like, start slow and small. I'm not saying go out and do something every day because that's draining. And even as someone who has my spark back, that's still draining to me to go out every single day and like see people every day. So give yourself time to rest. Take a nap if you want to, okay? I was raised to think that naps were lazy and that if you were taking a nap, you didn't sleep good enough the night before, you didn't go to bed early enough, or you're just flat out being lazy. And I've had to teach myself that that is just not true. And sometimes our bodies need extra rest, especially if you're in school or you have a full-time job or you're beating yourself up all the time. Of course, you're gonna need some rest. Your brain is working overtime. So allow yourself some rest. I know I said I wasn't gonna be like cutesy and easy in this video, but rest is so, so important. But don't stay there. Allow yourself to rest a little bit and then get up and do something again, because if you allow yourself to rest too much, as you may know, as someone who has lost their spark, you're in bed a lot, probably sleeping a lot, it's obviously going to get you nowhere. But do allow yourself a little bit of rest because everyone needs some rest. Everyone needs alone time and time to themselves. Don't be too harsh on yourself when it comes to that. Also, try learning something new. Humans crave novelty, which is just learning something new, doing something new, doing something you've never done before, because doing the same things every day over and over and over and over again is so freaking draining, and it makes your brain just completely tune out. So that's why, like, traveling, changing your environment, hanging out with people, doing new things, learning something new will bring that dopamine back to your brain. So go do something new. Like, if you've never been ice skating, go try ice skating. Maybe try a new hobby. If you've never tried sewing before, try sewing. If you don't know how to play Sudoku, learn how to play Sudoku. There are so many different things you could learn, and maybe try learning a new language, which I know is very hard, but maybe that could be something you look forward to every day. Give yourself things to do, things to learn, because if you sit around all day, especially scrolling on your phone, your brain's gonna crave something new. So go do something. Look forward to learning your new language at night or every morning, or playing Sudoku while you watch a TV show. Just do something. Learn how to do something. Change your day around a little bit. I was someone who, in my dark times, craved routine. And I learned that being in a strict routine actually made me very anxious, because if I did not take a shower at 6 p.m. flat, I would panic. I would freak out. I would get nauseous because I was so anxious. So I now crave a little bit of routine, but I like to go outside of my routine now, because if I don't, I'll become very anxious because I've been doing the same thing every single day. So if you're also like that, switch up your routine a little bit. Maybe on the weekends, go do something instead of resting so much. Like I, on the weekends, am like, okay, this is my time to rest. But once I got my spark back, I was like, oh, the weekends are for fun. At least one day out of the week, you need a fun day to just go out and do something. Go shopping, go bowling, go to an arcade, go have a picnic. There are so many free hobbies, which I do have a video on, that you can do just to get out of the house and do something. So while you might be someone who craves routine, try to break it a little bit because your brain cannot do the same thing every single day and be happy and healthy. It just doesn't work that way. Your brain needs something a little different sometimes. It needs a little mix up. Also, losing your spark isn't just mental, it can also be very emotional as well. Like for me, I was ignoring all of my needs, ignoring my feelings. I would just kind of like laugh things off a little bit, and I'm sure you're the same way. So like whenever you ignore that and you ignore your passions in life for too long, your brain goes into energy save mode. It's not that you're lazy or unmotivated, it's literally your brain trying to protect you. So essentially, whenever you're feeling unmotivated, stressed, drained, your brain just shuts down because it's saving energy and it leaves no room for creativity, activity, excitement, and motivation, which is basically your brain telling you, let's just survive right now, which can make your brain feel kind of numb to everything. So you lose like the joy for the little things and that burst of energy for things that excite you. So in order to get rid of this, again, you need to rest without guilt because rest is always important, but you also need to start small by doing little things. Going outside, getting some vitamin D, simple. Go sit in the sun, go lay in the sun, go stand in the sun, go touch grass. I recently have realized that the phrase, I need to go touch grass, is so true, and it's not just something made up. Our bodies crave nature and outside and vitamin D and grass. So whenever you actually go outside, your brain's like, oh my gosh, wow, okay, I needed this. So like vitamin D is not a happy chemical itself, but it does help support the other happy chemicals. So if you don't have vitamin D and you're not getting vitamin D, it can't support the happy chemicals going on in your brain, if that makes any sense at all. And now I'm realizing around the time that I lost my spark, I keep doing this because I don't want to say I was depressed. I don't want to claim that I was depressed. Anyways, around that time, I was being told by doctors that I was very, very low on vitamin D, even though I went outside. I'm wondering now that I've got my spark back, if I would still be low on vitamin D. Something to think about, honestly. I need to go get my blood taken and actually have that like tested and everything. But once you start reintroducing things slowly to your brain, like going outside, hanging out with friends, your brain will realize, oh wow, okay, I'm safe and I'm no longer in survival mode. I can open up a little bit now and I can go do things that are fun. Honestly, overall, the whole trick to getting your spark back is to do things you used to love doing and surrounding yourself with the right people as well, because obviously if you have people talking bad about you or just putting things in your brain that aren't true, you're losing your power. And obviously, again, we don't want to lose our power. So whenever you surround yourself with people who make you feel powerful and empowered, it makes all the difference. But again, I didn't want to sit here and be like, go exercise, go journal, go, I don't know, touch grass. I literally did tell you to touch grass. But like, while all of those things are great advice and things that actually work, the whole point is not to sit here and be like, it's gonna be okay. Because while it is gonna be okay, this is something that you need a push to do. It's not something that softness is really gonna take care of, just gonna be honest with you. At least it wasn't for me. I really had to dig deep and tell myself, girl, you cannot live like this any longer, and you cannot let your brain keep telling you all of these negative things in your ear, because none of those things are true. So you need to just get out of bed and go do stuff, go hang out with people, go touch grass, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? It's really just finding the best way to bring dopamine to your mind, whatever that is for you. If that is exercising, then go exercise. If that is journaling, then go journal. Just figure out what's gonna bring the most dopamine to your mind. Because for me, let me just give you some examples to help this make sense. Now that I'm like doing this, I'm like, will I even post this? Because I don't even know if anything I'm saying is making sense, to be honest. But what I did was I learned to love myself. And by doing that, I had to realize, oh my gosh, every single person that I had once put before me has let me down. I can't do that anymore. I have to tell myself, you are the most important. Figure out what you love to do, not what everybody else loves to do. Figure out what you love to do. For me, I'm just gonna be honest, that is grabbing my favorite snack and watching YouTube, reading a book, doing my makeup, doing some sort of self-care, sitting in the bath while reading a book or while watching Netflix. It doesn't have to be something like, ugh, I'm a hobby girl. I want to knit. I want to bedazzle something. I want to read a book. No, that's a lot, even to me now. So I had to find those little tiny things that made me happy. And once I did, it makes all the difference. And it really makes you enjoy alone time. Learning to love being alone is very hard to do, especially when you're someone who used to crave being with somebody. And I'm not even talking about relationships. I'm talking about friendships as well, because I was once that person that had to constantly be with a friend. Not anymore. I am totally content, happy, just being alone in my room by myself. Also, making my room my sanctuary, my cozy space. That was something that really did it for me, because when I was in that state of mind, my room wasn't decorated. I had totally blank walls. I had no color in my room. That was another thing, because I was someone who was like, I want everything to be white. I want no color besides white and gold. And that was just not good for me at that time at all. Now I like crave color. I'm like, bring in all the color. And while most of the color is pink because it's my favorite color, it's still something. So make your space feel cozy and like it's just for you. That was something that helped me. Also, again, hanging out with my friends, reconnecting with people. That was probably one of the biggest things, because while I was suffering with emetophobia, if you don't know what that is, please look it up. I don't want to sit here and like explain it. I was suffering with emetophobia and obviously lots and lots of anxiety, and those things were both eating up at me every single day. And the more I went and hung out with friends, the more I was like, what have I been fearing this whole time? Like, what was with that? That was so dumb. That was stupid. And while like telling myself that isn't super nice to myself, sometimes you can't be nice to yourself. Sometimes you have to tell yourself how it actually is. That helped. Hanging out with friends, reconnecting with people that I used to be best friends with. Oh my gosh, lifted so much weight off of my shoulders. Those are the main things that I did, and hopefully anything I said in this video was helpful. The more I sit here, I'm like, will I even upload this? Because I don't even know if that was helpful, to be honest with you. Okay. Anyways, hopefully, this was somewhat helpful at all in any sort of way. If it wasn't, well, I'm sorry. Anyways, this is the end of the video. What did I even talk about? However, if you did happen to enjoy this video, or if this video is helpful to you, please consider liking and subscribing so that way you can hang out with me more. I don't even know if you would want to. Clearly, my brain doesn't work sometimes. With that being said, that's the end of the video, and I'm gonna love you and leave you. Bye.